This is another example of the application of volume ultrasound in fetal echocardiography. In this case, stick color acquisition was performed. I will try to orientate this volume, and afterwards we'll review the cardiac views in tomography and in render mode. So let's try to bring the pivot point in A to the level of the descending aorta. This is here. I will bring it vertically, and you start seeing that the ductal arch is formed in the B-plane. I will try to move the pivot point in the B-plane to the lower level. So I will select reference image B, and then I will bring this at the level of four-chamber view. You start seeing that the only one inflow is visible. The inflow on this side is not. Let's move to the higher levels with our pivot point. At this point, you start seeing the pulmonary valve and the branching of the pulmonary artery. It looks very broad. At the higher level, which is three-vessel and trachea view, you start seeing the retrograde filling to this vessel, which in this case is the transverse section through the aortic arch. So this is the very typical view for hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Let's analyze all the views together in tomographic view. I'll go to tomography now. I select A-plane as active, and you can move the whole set of images to a bit higher level. And the thick wall of the ascending aorta is seen here, because in this hypoplastic left heart, the background was the aortic atresia, because you see some lumen of the left ventricle and some endocardial fibroelastosis in this ventricle. So this is tomography. So in one screen, you have the evaluation of the four-chamber and the V side. You can render it, and by a different viewing option, you will see them both in one screen. So let's try to render. In this case, you need to reduce the magnification. Afterwards, you need to select the proper direction of your rendering and the size of the rendering box. So I move to submenu, where I select number 5, which states for front to back rendering direction. And as a next step, I will move to the reference image B, where I'm going to reduce the size of the rendering box. Now we can bring the rendered image to the full screen, and here you see the only one inflow. Normally we should expect another red inflow here. This is the outflow from the anterior ventricle, which is straight, which is very typical course for the pulmonary artery. And here you can see the retrograde filling of the aortic arch. So one screen, and all the features for hypoplast are very, very clear.